Go get it. We about to go get it. What's going on? It's Coach Williams, and today I'm going to be doing a product proposal and demo for you for my new VR video product called Field Visor. So, whether you're a coach that is teaching your players and wants to be able to break down plays on a more in-depth level, if you're a player that's trying to learn more about the game, or a fan as well that wants to step into some of your favorite plays, this is the perfect product for you. So I'm going to break down the packages. The first package is called the Assistant Package. And so it's a video package. You would get one offensive formation and one defensive formation, so a front and a shell to defend that formation, and it would turn into one offensive play versus one defensive play. And when we would build this out for you, it would be you would get multiple different angles for the video, right? So you would get a full field bird's eye view video, as you can see right here. You would get two on-field perspectives. So I'm a DB guy, so I use this to coach my players. So the way that I do it is, obviously you'd get the on-field view from the field and then from the boundary as well. So you'd get two of those, and then you would get 4 player perspectives. So, I'm a DB guy, so, you would get the field corner, the free safety, strong safety, boundary corner. But any kind of perspective that you would want, any 4 players that you would want, I would be able to build that out for you. So we're going to jump right into one of the videos that I built out. Okay. So this is that same screenshot that you saw before. So this is the backside safety in a quarters coverage, carrying number 3 vertical. So a lot of people call this poach. So this would be the on-field perspective from the player, right? So he's reading it. He can see that number 3 is climbing vertical here, but he also has peripheral vision of number 2, right? So in case you get some kind of switch release or something like that. So this is the way that I coach it. And it's really helpful and really useful for the players to be able to see how they're supposed to see the play end up developing. And so this is really great for huddle installs, right? So you can have your install, you can have your plays and all that stuff. Sometimes you might have your diagrams, then you would cut to, in-game film that you guys had from past years or whatever. And then you could add this in and splice this into a playlist to be like, this is how the play went and this is how it's supposed to look. So great for coaches and also fans and players as well. So the next package is the coordinator package. And this one is the really exciting one. I think this one is the best value one. It's where you actually get access to the model. So you would be able to have access to any model that I built and build for you. And you would have 24/7 access to that model on sketchfab.com. It's the website that I use to store all of my VR video breakdowns. So you would get the desktop view of it. You would get a VR view of it, and we'll go into it. And then you would get a sketchfab website tutorial that I would do for you, and a custom link for your scheme privacy. So nobody else would be able to see it, only people that have the link to it. So you would be able to give it to your team, and obviously I would have access to it as well. But those would be the only people that would be able to look at your model. So I know that in the package it says that the website tutorial is something you would have to pay for, but I'm going to give you a free tutorial of how this whole thing looks right now. So you would go into the website. I give you a link, and then you would go to this page. These are all my models and stuff. You wouldn't be able to see these. These are private and only for my players. But you would get this, and you would click the link. You would click the video that's on there that would have your name or whatever title you want on it, and you'd be able to jump right in. And so the beginning, the first time you run it through, it can be a little wonky just because the files are so big, but it smooths out, as you see. All right, so the play smooths out here, and you can see everything that's happening. So you wouldn't just be sitting here, though. You can move throughout the scene. So this is from Wild Card Weekend. It's a touchdown pass that Trevor Lawrence threw against the Chargers. And so we can move around the scene here, right? So I can zoom out. All I'm doing right now is I'm scrolling. And then if I left click, all I got to do is move my mouse and it moves around. If I don't left click, though, it's not going to do anything. So I can move throughout the scene, and I can double click here on Trevor Lawrence's head. And then if I scroll, I'm scrolling into his perspective. So I double click again, and I'm scrolling into his perspective. So I can step into his spot and see the play through his eyes. And this is really great for quarterbacks, right? So I can look up here and look for safety rotation. I can look at the front and see what kind of protection we might want to call. This is also great for offensive linemen in that sense too. And so I get in here, I can look out and see the full view, see the formation and everything. And then if I click here, just runs the animation. All right. And so I can pause mid-play, right? So, right, one of the big things with this play and why I thought it was so interesting was it was that 3-by-1 and the safety was carrying 3 vertical. Well, if the quarterback is reading the safety, second the safety steps up, Lawrence sees that and he knows that he's got them dead to rights, wide open receiver down the field. And so now it ends up being a touchdown. So you can move around and you can live inside of the play and have full access to it, which is pretty cool. And it's really cool to be able to slow it down, and talk through things. So this is how I coach. I use this stuff and I go in and I'll talk through plays and stuff like this and be like, hey, we got to make this read. We got to do this here. We got to do that there, right? We got to do a better job as this safety, right? If we step into his spot. Scroll in, right? I got to do a better job here of having peripheral vision as the play develops of both receivers like we talked through before, right? I got to make sure that I can keep him in my peripheral for in case this guy hooks up on me, right? I still need to be able to have vision. And so one of the cool things that I'll do is I can move to a specific landmark, right? So I can move to this landmark on the field, right? So let's say I want to be 2 yards outside the hash. Well, I can stand here and just run it throughout the play and be like, yeah, if you're standing here, I'm going to have better vision of the play and be able to be in a better spot. So it really gives you that opportunity to talk through some of the things that you would talk through on film with your players from their perspective. So if you have a VR device, we talked about in the package, if we go back here, all right, so you'd have the desktop view. That was the desktop view. If you have a VR device, you have full access to VR. All you got to do is go in here and click this icon. So since this is not a VR enabled device, this is my computer, it's going to get a little jumbled and wonky here. You'll see, right? So it's a little jumbled and wonky since this is not a VR enabled device. But if your players have VR headsets, if they have, the Oculus headset or whatever, all they have to do is click that and they'll be in the play. So I'm going to reload this. And so, yeah, so if they have a VR headset, they'll be able to jump in. Now, most of your players might not have VR headsets, but there's a very easy solution to still be able to view the plays in VR and move around the scene. All you got to do is go to Amazon.com and type Google Cardboard. And as you can see, this device is only $9.99. And what this device does for you is all you do is you stick your phone in this cardboard thing, and it's got these like goggles on it, and it turns your phone into a VR device. So you saw when the screen got kind of janky, there was like two perspectives of the play. Well, that's for each eyeball or whatever. So if you put this on the phone and you click that button, because this is mobile enabled as well, sketchfab, all you got to do is lock this thing in there, and then it gives you a whole tutorial of how to use it, and your players can use their phones and turn them into VR devices. So it's really, really great way for everybody to have access to virtual reality. And so some of my players have VR headsets, but most of them, when they're using this stuff, they're using their phones, and they've bought a Google Cardboard device that's only $10. So it's cheaper than going out and grabbing some fast food over in Boston, where I'm at. It's pretty expensive out here. So the other thing, the next package is the head coach package. So that one would be $1,200. And what you would get, the first thing we're going to talk through is password protection for increased scheme privacy. So if we step in here, I have access to your model, and I go into privacy. And so you can see here, this model here is a public model. Anybody can go on it. If you go on Sketchfab right now, you'd be able to see this. You would send me the play that you want. I would build it out. I'd upload it. And then when I went to the settings, I would click privacy. And so who can see? And so you have anyone with a link. With the other package, it's anyone with a link. This one, if you get the head coach package, it would be anyone with a link and a password. So they would have to have a password. You would send me what you want the password to be. And so as you can see here, it changes the visibility. I would enter in the password here, and only people with passwords would be able to access your models. So that ends up being huge with the age that we're in, with the transfer portal, right? You're going to get players that might end up going in conference to other teams. You might have coaches, right? So this is a profession where people are constantly changing jobs. So your coaches would still have access to it if they have the link. So if you have the password, you could change the password at any time. Just let me know. I'll go in there and change the password for you. So that's a really useful security feature to be able to keep your scheme private and the things that you're coaching your players on. So also with the head coach package, you would get customized player jerseys, team logos, team colors, all that stuff. I would put the logo on the helmet. However your jerseys look, I can configure it. As you can see, I've got all these different colors and everything. And, you know, the NFL ones, I made all these ones on my own. And one of the things that's really great about this is, one is, you know, it gets your team culture and all that stuff, but we're always telling our players to visualize the play, right? Well, this gives them the opportunity to literally see themselves making plays, right? Literally see themselves stepping into their position and doing the play that you're asking and requesting them to do, right? So they don't just have to visualize it inside their mind. They can literally see it play out on the field. So this is it. That's it. If you're interested in purchasing this product, you can reach out to me at Mighty Chaos KAOS 41 on Twitter, and I'll also provide my email address and things like that. So, you know, as Deion Sanders says, I ain't hard to find. So I'll put that together for you, and hopefully you end up feeling really interested in this product and purchasing it. So we'll be in touch. Peace.